Thank you, Toastmaster. Toastmasters, good evening. Good evening, yes. Einstein once said, "A life lived for others is a life worthwhile." My parents lived in a place called Coog. It's a lovely place filled with plantation. And the problem with Coog is the schools there only teach in the vernacular language. So they decided to put me in boarding school. So I came here to boarding school in a school called Baldwin's, and I was there. But the problem with boarding school was it was very lonely. And every time my parents left me in school and went back, I had an empty feeling in my chest. And I always thought I'd love to be back home. Years went by, and as I started feeling that life is incorrigible, my parents decided to shift all of us, me and my 4 siblings, from Bangalore to Mangalore. And Mangalore is fun, I tell you. Okay, we used to live in a place called Ulal, right on the beach. And although college or school was 15 kilometers away, we had friends come over and weekend parties and barbecues and things like that. After school, I went and did my hotel management. And part of the curriculum was that you had to do your internship. And my internship was done in a hotel called Leela Beach in Goa. Life in the hotel is all glitzy, yes. But in the kitchen, it's a different scene altogether. Okay? I was there during Christmas season and they were short-staffed. And they were making me work from 5 in the morning to 12 at night, 16-hour shifts straight, 14 days continuously. It was back-breaking work. But I really liked it. Okay? I really liked it because the chef also shared the burden. And it taught me a lot with regard to leadership. Because leadership is not about imposing authority. It's getting things done with the people in your team. So, after my internship, I came back home and I have my brother Peter and he was about to get married. So, both of us went to go see his fiancée in Kerala. So, we're there in Peter's fiancée's place. Her name is Gina. And just next to Gina, this is pretty girl. Okay. Her name is Geeta. Okay, she was only 20 then, me 21. I don't know back then, but 4 years and both of us are married. Okay. That was sneaky, you would say, but it happened. Okay. After we got married, we spent 5 years in Coog and we had our child, Ilya. We fondly call her Sarah. And like I told you, I really didn't want her to go to boarding school. So 2 years after that, all of us shifted from Coog to Bangalore. And I started working for this company called Orange County, and I've been working there ever since. I'm the director there right now. Life teaches you a lot of lessons, and one of the lessons that it taught me was a couple of years ago. My cousin calls me and says, "Thomas, you're more than 40. You're way past 40. So you got to get all your blood tests done and see if you're in order." So he gives me a list of tests and I go to the lab and get my test done. And when the results are in, all the parameters are okay, except for one. Do you know what monocytes are? I didn't know it. It's some kind of white blood cells or something like that. It was slightly high. So I call up my cousin John and I said, "Is there anything wrong?" And he says, "Thomas, don't worry about it. It must be some infection. Just, repeat the test in a couple of weeks and then, we'll take a look." But then there's the in-house doctor who calls me and he says, "Thomas, I'd like to chat with you. Sit down." And then he looks at me and says, "Thomas, do you have any history in your family? Any history of blood cancer?" Was he saying what I heard him say? Did he say that? What sort of thoughts were going through my mind? What will I tell my wife? Or do I even tell her? Do I put her through all that trauma? How am I going to see my child through school, through college, if I'm not there? All these thoughts went through my mind. And then I called my cousin John and he says, "There's a possibility, but don't worry, it's going to be okay. 14 days I went through hell. But on the 14th day, I get my test, and fortunately, all the parameters are normal. But it taught me a lot. It taught me to cherish things. And what is the legacy that we leave behind? The legacy is the interactions that we have with each other. And one important aspect of interaction is communication, and that's one of the reasons I've joined Toastmasters, to get to communicate properly. It's how you interact with your friends, with your colleagues, with your family. It's the smile you share. It's the kind word you say. It's the hug you give. And I'd like to end by a small change of what Einstein said. A life lived with others is a life worthwhile. Toastmaster.